Yo, what up, family? It's your brother YT. Wake 'em up, back at it again with another video. Listen, man, you got to take risks to be successful, just like my caps say, but not these type of risks. Not the ones that's going to end you up in jail. Not the ones that's going to have you locked up and in trouble, man. If you haven't heard, people are going crazy with the food stamp scams. I've been covering them all week, but now things have just now went to a whole new level. This lady did the ultimate food stamp scam. Listen, we're going to get into it, but first, family, you already know what to do, and if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe. And ring the post notification bell as well. All right, let's roll the clip.
A massive $66 million food stamp fraud has just been exposed, one of the biggest in U.S. history. And guess what? A USDA employee, yes, someone whose job was to stop fraud, was at the center of it. Her name is Arlasa Davis. Here she is right here. And prosecutors say she used her government access to steal EBT license numbers. Then she sold them to scammers who installed fake EBT machines in smoke shops and bodegas, processing over $30 million in fake SNAP transactions. And it gets worse. She allegedly took bribes disguised as birthday gifts and flowers to keep the scam going. Over 160 illegal terminals were used, mainly around New York. Now she's facing up to 75 years in prison, and 5 others indicted could get up to 35 years each. This is our tax money being stolen. Money meant to help families eat, not line the pockets of crooks and scammers. And people wonder why there's talk about stricter oversight. Now you see why Doge was needed. Stay woke, stay informed. And I can recall back a couple of years ago, people in various states would get their food stamp benefits only to wake up and have them taken. And they said a lot of these transactions was coming out of New York. Now we know who was behind it. And the food stamp people wouldn't even give them the food stamp money that was stolen from them. America.
Sheesh. It wasn't worth it. That's the type of risk that's not worth it. She just risked her life. Literally. Her life is done and everybody involved. Y'all got a life sentence. You know, in jail, a life sentence is just 30 years. Natural life is your whole life, but when you catch a life sentence, that's 30. They got more than 30. Well, they're facing more than 30. Hey, you better buy you a good lawyer with all of that money. I'm telling you. But that lawyer might not be able to help you, man. The food stamp bandit. You're caught red-handed. You thought you had a little scheme, but it wasn't good enough because you still got caught up.
Another day, another multi-million-dollar scam enabled by bureaucratic, democratic incompetence. Let's read the headlines. USDA employee and 5 others charged in a multi-million-dollar food stamp fraud and bribery scheme. So let's meet Miss Davis. Now, Miss Davis is an employee of USDA. She was the one who's supposed to catch fraud, but instead she sold the EBT number like it's a black market vendor. $66 million stolen from taxpayers while agencies rubber stamp application for sketchy stores. Not only that, James O'Keefe and citizen journalists caught on camera Deshaun Eli Mack, a family service specialist with Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, on camera admitting he does not care. Listen to what he has to say.
So whether it's a law.
So would that technically be subverting a law at all at that point?
I do that a lot. I will twist and turn our provisions to fit the way that I want them to. So whether it's a law or not, I don't know. Because
Or care.
I don't care.
You heard him clearly. He states he does not care, even if it's a law. Now, you have Democratic leaders screaming at the top of their lungs, saying that these people need their SNAP benefits. But I'm going to give you an example. How many people truly need their SNAP benefits because they are on social media, like TikTok, exposing themselves, selling their food stamp? You really don't have to look far because this young lady puts it on her TikTok. She says she sells her food stamp, and if you want to listen to her video, you can go find her. That is her TikTok account. Second example, this young lady now owes $35,000 back to the state. The real question is, why isn't she behind bars?
So a massive $66 million food stamp fraud has been uncovered. A USDA employee was at the center of it. So here's what you need to know. Here's the scheme, right? So there were 6 individuals that orchestrated a network that supplied approximately 160 unauthorized EBT terminals to stores across New York. These terminals were used to process over 30 million in fraudulent SNAP transactions. They submitted around 200 fake USDA applications misusing license numbers and doctoring documents to obtain EBT terminals for ineligible businesses. Alarsa Davis, a USDA employee, abused her position by selling confidential government information to the fraudsters. She provided hundreds of EBT license numbers, enabling over 36 million in fraudulent SNAP redemptions. In return, Davis received substantial bribes disguised as birthday gifts and flowers. All 6 individuals have been charged with conspiracy to steal government funds and misappropriate USDA benefits. They've also been charged with theft of government funds. Davis faces additional charges: conspiracy to commit bribery, and conspiracy to commit honest services wire fraud. I'm looking at the press release now, and I plan to send a free email newsletter article describing this in more detail to my followers on Substack. And that's a great place to get more detailed information. It's a free email newsletter. The link to that is in my bio. Click the link, enter your email in, and you'll be good to go. That's all I got for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep, $66 million. A woman of color works for the USDA, has fraudulently misappropriated, essentially stole $66 million worth of food stamps as an employee at the USDA. You remember the USDA. They were the ones that the Doge found all of this bloat and excess staffing, and Doge was finding all this misappropriation of federal funds and taxpayer dollars, and they went to the USDA and they shut it down, and all of that side was protesting because people were losing their jobs at the USDA and they were cutting out that program. And remember, the USDA is supposed to provide funding for foreign countries, not just the United States. This woman allegedly has worked for the USDA, a woman of color, for over 30 years and has defrauded the federal government in the EBT food stamp program to the tune of $66 million. One, how did she do that? Two, how has she been doing it the whole 30 years she's worked there? Three, why? What kind of kickback was she getting? Because allegedly she was creating EBT debit cards and selling them. $66 million. And then they want to know why there's a certain group of people that are always saying we can't have nice things. And then there's the same group of people that are crying all over social media that Trump is taking away their food stamps. The ones that get $3,000 a month and then just go and make TikToks about it and videos about it. And then there's the working class people who can't get food stamps because allegedly they don't qualify for it. Well, maybe they would have qualified for it if we didn't have this woman defrauding the program to the tune of $66 million. Are you guys surprised? There's a part of me that's not surprised. There's a part of me that's not surprised by who it was. They're the most educated women on the planet. The ones that are not married. Yeah, they're not married because they're doing shit like this. Let me know down the comments what you think. I don't care. Haters come in because it is what it is, and it's sickening. And I cannot believe what other fraud is going on? And now that Elon Musk has stepped down, what's happening with Doge? My other question is, all the money that they've been finding, where are the consequences to the people that have been allegedly defrauding federal programs? What's their consequence? What's happening to them? I want to know. Let me know what you think. Maybe I missed something in the news.
These are some good questions because $66 million is a lot of money. How long did it take her to figure out that she could get the first million? And she just kept going too, just greedy. 66 million, you got a million 66 times. She wasn't stopping. She was going for that big B. She was going for $1 billion or something like what was her goal? At that point, you could have left the country. I'm not saying do fraud. I'm not. But I'm saying how greedy can you be? After you got away, you should have just left the country, changed your whole life around. I don't know. You shouldn't have did it in the first place. But I'm saying, you still working there and still committing fraud. See, that was her thing. I'm going to continue working here so I can continue doing fraud. See, they're teaching me fraud prevention, and I'm going to reverse it. Instead of fraud prevention, let's do fraud commission. Let's commit it. And that was her whole thing. This is crazy. These fraudsters know how to get that money, don't they? Man.
USDA worker and 5 others charged in multi-million-dollar food stamp scheme/bribery. Let's get right into it. A couple months ago, we was on this app saying it was somebody from the inside that was taking the stamps. Come to find out, it was somebody from the inside taking the stamps. a long-term USDA worker was in New York stealing all these people's food stamps. My whole thing is they're only facing 10 years in prison. If you ask me, they need way more time than that from all the pain and suffering they caused on the American people. People went hungry plenty of months from them stealing the food stamps. My question is, why did it take so long for them to figure out it was somebody from the inside stealing the stamps? Then, to make matters worse, when the stamps was being stolen, families was not being reimbursed for the food stamps that they was actually stealing. How come it take y'all over a year to figure out who was stealing the stamps and it was coming from the inside? If this ain't corruption at its finest, I don't know what it is.
Now this has got to stop. You mean to tell me a USDA employee has been charged with stealing $66 million worth of food stamps? That's right, you heard it. $66 million worth of food stamps. And guess what this USDA job was at her job? Guess what it was? To stop the people from stealing the food stamps. You hear me? This lady, hear me good. This lady that worked at the USDA department and her job was to stop people from stealing food stamp fraud has been charged with doing just that. This lady somehow has stole $66 million worth of food stamps. And my question is, where the hell is all that food at? Where the hell, what she did with all them food stamps? Because ain't nobody knock on my door trying to sell me none. What did she do with $66 million? You heard me? $66 million worth of food stamps. This right here is ridiculous. This is unheard of. Somebody definitely ain't doing their job, and she must have been getting too many hours overtime to steal $66 million worth of food stamps. My goodness.
Listen, even if somebody did knock on your door, as she said, ain't nobody knock on her door. If they did knock on your door trying to sell you some food stamps, you would have been indicted too. Listen, you don't want that on you now. She would have been caught up in this RICO, because there's going to be a RICO more than likely. There's multiple people involved. But that's true. Where did the money go? There's so many questions I got about this one. I don't understand how she did this, how she pulled this off.
Well, I'm on TikTok and I see this girl went to jail for doing food stamp fraud because she was on TikTok talking about how you could lie on your food stamp application and get food stamps by telling them that you don't work. She puts a video up and then somebody reports her, calls her, and they come get her and she goes to jail. This is wild. And I'm over here having weird ass cravings for McDonald's. I'm just all fucked up today. Vibrations are just low today. Gotta be. Because I got me a sundae with caramel. Caramel. And the ice cream machine was working. And this is my second McDonald's because the first one didn't have ice cream. I left. Came to another one. They had it here. And I got an apple pie. And I'm over here watching somebody go to jail for food stamp fraud. What the fuck going on in this world today?
One of the largest food stamp fraud cases in U.S. history, and one of the people running the whole entire scheme was a government USDA employee. This was announced today, Thursday, May 29th, by the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Southern District of New York. Arlisaw Davis, one of the named alleged co-conspirators, worked for the USDA for over 38 years, and her job was to identify SNAP benefit fraud. She's being accused of selling hundreds of EBT cards that accounted for over $36 million in fraudulent SNAP benefit redemptions. Her co-conspirator, Michael Kehoe, is being accused of setting up a network of over 160 EBT terminals across all various stores in New York, and even allowing these stolen EBT cards to redeem cash. The SNAP program uses federal tax dollars to help low-income families buy food. So this is a $66 million abuse of the program and is literally taking away food from people that need it most. The 6 people that are allegedly responsible for orchestrating this scheme are looking at up to 45 years in prison and are being charged with conspiracy to steal government funds and misappropriate USDA benefits, as well as theft of government funds.
You want to know why EBT benefits and EBT schemes keep getting found out and why benefits keep getting cut? It's because of fraud. And it's because of people like this story shows you who stole $66 million in fraud schemes the government caught. So this EBT member was caught over a decade worth of EBT scams, SNAP scams. She worked for the USDA. Scamming for decades. Millions of taxpayer money gone because of a scheme. Yet the government didn't catch it until $66 million is lost. What? Now you ask yourself, John, why are you highlighting this? Because a lot of EBT members are blaming Donald Trump for all these cuts when they actually should look at their neighbor. So the people that actually need these benefits are losing out on benefits because other people can't keep their hand out of the cookie jar. This is why I say professional victims. You claim to be a victim. You claim Donald Trump's doing all this stuff, but you didn't pacify the people around you who are doing this. This is an EBT mentality. And thankfully, people are getting caught. Let's get at them.
I mean, yeah, if Trump didn't step up efforts to stop this fraud, to do actual fraud prevention, right? She worked to do that job, but Trump is taking things into his own hand. I'm gonna give him credit for that. Now, if he didn't actually take it up a notch and start to investigate, then she probably still would have been getting away with this. She's been doing this for a long time. She didn't just start yesterday. She didn't start last year. I'm thinking she's been doing this for multiple years. Let me know what y'all think, family. It's no way she just started. And she got comfortable. She was like, man, I haven't been caught yet. She started involving other people too. Listen, I already stole X amount of dollars. They not gonna catch us. She tried to scale. This is called scaling. You know, if you're in business, you know, you scale up to the next level. This was her scaling up to the next level. I can't do it all on my own. I gotta involve other people, right? So she started to involve other people. And then the guy, he didn't even care. He's on camera and everything. He don't care. Listen, there's gonna be more cases that come out about this more than likely. She's not the only one. There were other people involved too. It's probably somebody that taught her. She might end up telling on somebody else that was the big dog, the big fish. She might be the big fish though, 66 million. She probably figured it out on her own, but she's probably not the only one that's been doing this. We might hear more reports of some lower tier cases, either higher or lower, but we might hear more cases. Yeah, family, let me know what y'all think about this video, man. This is wild. See, the FBI may have been onto her. They're going to let you keep going, and then they're going to come in. They want to build a big case, right? And they want to make sure they got you. They have a 95% conviction rate. Sometimes they'll let you go on for years so you can dig yourself in the hole even more. They probably saw her when she was at 40 million. And they was like, no, we're gonna let her keep going. That way we can throw the book at her when she get above 60 million. Who knows? I appreciate you for watching. If you made it to the end, peace. And to my Hebrew family, shalom. I'll catch y'all on the next one.